Hello, I'm Ian Tenenbaum. This is 30,000 Feet. I'm sitting here with Ian Schafer, the CEO and founder of Deep Focus, which is probably one of the most well-known social, creative, digital agencies of the last 10 years. Give me the real quick background of what you were doing and then how you decided one day, you know what, I want to go do my own thing. I want to start my own company.
Yeah. So Miramax, which was owned by Disney, had hired me to lead a lot of the digital marketing that they were doing.
So in your role at the client side, were you dealing with your agencies?
Yes.
Okay, and were you finding all these inefficiencies, and were you one of those clients saying, I could do this better?
Well, they were all doing stuff, making stuff, finding stuff. I mean, they all had a role, but it was very, they were very role driven, and none of them were actually in the marketing business. They were all, they were buying advertising.
Like tactical, yeah.
Yes, they were all like delivering a tactic while, I was kind of left to like be the conductor of an orchestra that didn't know like what song they were playing together. So it was, and then plus, the way, again, like I said, the internet was evolving to this kind of connective tissue as opposed to like a magazine or a brochure. Everything was starting to look like everything else, and so it was hard to delineate like what was PR, what was media, what was creative, what was content, and so realized that we need to kind of go back to the kind of integrated agency model. Even when I was back at iTraffic, we were working the best when we were doing everything, as opposed to kind of just one thing, one role, new overarching function. And so left Miramax to really go out on my own, and it was I felt at the time.
You left from Miramax to start your own agency.
Yeah.
How did that? One day you wake up and say, I'm going to go start my own company? Or what was the catalyst that's a big thing for a lot of people in corporate America to say, all right, it's time.
So I was in a contract.
People talk about it, yeah. People talk about it like, oh yes, and then I left and started my own company. Like, there's got to be, it's a big thing to do.
It was make a decision because I was negotiating my new contract, and it was either stay in a role and watch my department get smaller because of some downsizing that was happening at the studio. It was go out to the West Coast and work in the promotions team and be leading like product placement for the studio, or a couple of other options. None of them were terribly appealing. This was in kind of late 2001, so you can imagine I didn't want to be flying all over the place. It was just my mind was in kind of a different place, and it was. Yet I was still ready to take a risk as long as I felt somewhat in control. So if I didn't find the ideal opportunity there, I was prepared to say I'm going to make the thing that I was looking for, and that I know other people are looking for, having done interviews with, not job interviews, but like casual interviews with a bunch of my peers in the space, especially in the entertainment space. I knew they were all open to hiring another agency, or to giving another agency a shot. Just said, why not? I'll literally give it, several months.
What's the harm?
Yeah, see how it goes. Otherwise, I get, I felt confident I could get back into the job market.
At what point did things really start heating up? Was there a moment where you went from like, all right, there's 4 of us to like 20 of us to 100 of us? I mean,
yeah, I almost couldn't pinpoint the time because it happened so quickly. So, we, in 2002, we started from a desk in the offices of Big Spaceship, my friends at Big Spaceship. We, within a few weeks of that, office space opened up in the building. I think we were in 5 different offices in Dumbo within 5 years. We were growing so quickly.
Wow.
So luckily it was all the same landlord.
And what drove that? Was it you pitching? Was it winning awards? Like what
So it was focused on the entertainment vertical and owning it. So, we were the premier East Coast, digital entertainment agency, and I think it was neglected. It was the East Coast entertainment market was neglected, which was weird, I thought, because most of the cable companies headquartered here, like HBO, who we wound up becoming digital AOR for, AMC, who we wound up becoming digital AOR for. Not to mention the studios that we were working with too, like Mainline Cinema, digital AOR for. So we were getting these digital AOR deals with companies that were usually only paying people on a project basis, or agencies on a project basis. And it built up a sustainable, revenue pipeline, where we were able to grow to about, 50 people 50 full-time people, just working in the entertainment world.
What are some of the lessons you've learned from, obviously there's marketing and there's, the actual business itself, but running a business, growing a business, were there times where you lost an account and had to fire 20 people, or got an account and couldn't find enough people to staff it? Like, what are some of the interesting things you've learned along the way that if you go back and be like, oh, I would definitely do that over again?
Yeah, so building an agency around highly dysfunctional clients is not a great idea. So, it was great getting there and great, being there, but you realize when you dig deep into, say, the financials, you realize that you're really only as functional as your largest client. In that case, we were unearthing some great inefficiencies in what we were doing. We had to make some pretty serious decisions around like 2007 about the clients that we wanted to work with, and that was really kind of the wake-up call, where we literally drew a line in the sand, and any client that fell below a certain level of profitability, we were going to cut.
Interesting.
Literally. So we cut a bunch of clients, which means we didn't need as many people as we had, and so we literally took great care to find each and every one of them a job after we parted ways. But it was an opportunity for us to kind of like reset and reboot the agency, and we did. And it was I'm glad we did it when we did it, because, like I said, it was critical to our existence. We got some great people, some great jobs in other places, but we were able to constitute the agency around better, healthier clients for an agency.
Business. So taking a look at your client set, looking at which clients are actually generating profit versus just time suck, and maybe press, which early on built the company, but then making hard decisions to say, all right, that's great and may get us some press, but that's not going to build us a profitable business.
Well, and the press that we were getting the similarly dysfunctional clients. So it was like we had a great dysfunctional client factory, and it was just they were not widgets that we wanted to keep making. So we were like, all right, so when is it going to be our turn to work with the big CPG and things like that? So and then we had to force it upon ourselves to actually do it.
Since then, you're seeing.
Since then, 100%.
I mean, I think you sold the company.
Yeah, I sold the agency in 2010. Primarily because we wanted deeper pockets to invest ahead of revenue, so we could compete at the same level for a consumer packaged good business, with the holding companies, which I think we've been able to do very well.
For you, and I mean, most people think about tech companies and thinking like the mecca and the end game is really just to exit or just sell. Was the exit something that personally was rewarding for you and that now you may stick around? Or, I mean, you don't own it anymore. Before that, you personally owned it. What was that dynamic? Was that like a win, or was that like we needed that to get to another level?
So the reason why I didn't sell to a traditional holding company, because I didn't like the financial structure of it, because I think it would reward the wrong things from me. So it would reward me making every decision based upon immediate profitability, which
like selling to a big public company.
Yeah, that's what the financial structure would be, and I actually did not want to make decisions based upon, I didn't want to make client decisions based upon what's going to yield the most profit for the agency.
Right, you didn't want to sell the agency and move on. You want to.
Well, when you sell an agency to a holding company, you actually, in most cases, you're getting paid a multiple on how much profit you make over the next 3 to 5 years. And I did not want to make every decision based upon profitability. I mean, I wanted my decisions to be based upon the vision that we're still working towards in this work in progress. And so found an opportunity, luckily, where it would be structured differently, which would allow me to grow the agency based upon the vision that I had for it as the center of something bigger, as opposed to another cog in the wheel of a machine where everybody is after the same thing and that's profit.
It's funny, if you think about it, it's probably seemed like a longer, it's only been 10 years.
Yeah, it was 11, but it was 10.
11.
But it's gone by really quickly. It's crazy because when I started this thing, I didn't know my wife. I met her like right after I started this, and now we have 3 kids. it's just amazing like how much has happened in the last 11 years, not even professionally or personally. You know, and the people that have kind of come in and out of here, you know, have gone onto some great things both internally here and externally in other places.
Something you feel good about.
Yeah, I feel really good about it. You know, people. You know, it's funny, like people that don't work out here that have moved on, like still like hang out with each other. You know, in my case, I wanted to leave a mark on an industry that I thought sorely needed a mark. You know, and I don't know if that's a little too like Steve Jobs.
Yeah. Well, it seems like you've been doing that and will continue to do so.
I guess. I mean, it's been more of a bruise than a mark, but I'm gonna keep punching.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Ian Schafer, CEO and founder of Deep Focus, and I am Ian Tenenbaum. I will see you next time. Thanks a lot.